with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. I'm 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 who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm who you with, Kirk, dog. Y'all know what night it is. It's Thursday night. My girl's waiting in the wings, Miss Risky. But first of all, we want to welcome everyone to the show. Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. D Live is always in the house. So hopefully y'all had a great day today. Hopefully you didn't have no damage from the storm last night. Well, as you know, always on Thursday, Miss Risky always bring the good history. So we're going to talk about a little history. Going to talk about Brandon Marshall, aka jury number 52. Then Marvin Scott death, and update on Adrian Brown Jr. death. So, Miss Risky, how you doing today? Wait a minute.
Just kidding.
What's all that?
It's like, she's not here.
Boy, you're doing me all wrong.
I can't help it.
How was your week?
It was all right, I guess.
No.
I had to go into work today because big girl didn't want to work, but that's okay.
Well, there's always one.
I know. It was all rainy today.
Well, they say the dream work from teamwork, and she not part of the team
at all.
Yeah,
but we just let her be in our corner.
Yeah, she just gonna be over there potting, and then you come in tomorrow, she'll be smiling in your face, act like she didn't do nothing wrong. I know what she's gonna say.
She would have said something today.
No, she's gonna say something. She'll say something. I was having a bad day.
No, she won't. She's not that kind of person. I've been around her for 2 years now. Like, no.
Well,
she ornery, old lady.
You should make some brownies for her.
No. No, because then she'll just be out for 2 months, and I have to do her work for her while she's having, she's got internal issues.
We're not going to get personal. I never know who's watching. They might figure out who you're talking about.
That's probably why she sent that email, because I'm pretty sure we've hinted some things before. But I don't care.
I know she ain't talking about me. And who's that guy on there? Y'all just mean and hateful. We're going to keep it real.
Like, I've been consistent. Like, whatever. It is what it is.
It is. So, you ready? You all right on that? You all right? I hear sirens.
Listen, I told you before, we're right next to a fire station and I think a police station. And, since it's raining, 2 drops of water is chaos. So let's see. I'm not sure. Like this history lesson is going to be like mid-range kind of length, It's hard to gauge because now I'm typing it out, so I'm not flipping pages so much. But it's going to be on Daniel Hale Williams. He was one of the first physicians to perform open heart surgery in the United States and founded a hospital with an interracial staff. So he was he pursued a pioneering career in medicine. He was an African American doctor in 1891. Williams opened a Providence Hospital, pretty much the first medical facility to have an interracial staff, like I stated before. He was also he eventually later became chief surgeon of Freedman Hospital. So a little backstory. He was born in January 1856 in Hollisburg, Pennsylvania, to Sarah Price Williams, an African American, and Daniel Hale Williams, who was the son of a Scots-Irish woman and black barber. The couple had several children. He was the fifth in the line of children. After about the age of 10, his father had died of tuberculosis, and he was sent to live in Baltimore, Maryland, with family and friends. He didn't like the job that they actually put him in as a shoemaker's apprentice, and so he ended up returning to his, I guess, the family who had moved to Illinois, so he moved there. Like his father, he took up barbering, but decided he wanted to pursue education and worked as an apprentice with Dr. Henry Palmer, a highly accomplished surgeon. So he worked with him, and Williams eventually entered Chicago Medical College, now known as Northwestern University Medical School. After graduation from Northwestern in 1883, he opened his own medical office in Chicago, Illinois. He taught anatomy, and he became the first African-American physician to work in the city's street railway system. Let's see, he adapted sterilization procedures for his office, informed by the recent findings on germ transmission and prevention from Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister. And I think we've talked about them in previous history lessons, so he was influenced by them. And of course, that was a time during discrimination. And so African American citizens were still barred from being admitted to the hospitals, and black doctors were refused staff positions. And he wanted to make a change. In May 1891, he opened Providence Hospital and Training School for Nurses, the nation's first hospital with a nursing and intern program that pretty much had an integrated staff. Let's see. In 1893, he continued making history when he operated on James Cornish, a man with several stab wounds to his chest, and was brought into Providence. Without the benefit of a blood transfusion or modern surgical procedures, Williams successfully sutured Cornish's pericardium and membranous, I'm butchering these words, forgive me, sac enclosing the heart, thus becoming one of the first people to perform open heart surgery. Now, previously, physicians like Francisco Romero and Henry Dalton had performed pericardial operations, but Cornish lived for many years after this operation, so they weren't successful before this. Let's see. Eventually, in 1894, he moved to Washington, D.C., where he was appointed chief of surgeon at a Freedman Hospital, which provided care for formerly enslaved African Americans. The facility had fallen into neglect and had a high mortality rate. So in 1895, he co-founded the National Medical Association, a professional organization for Black medical practitioners as an alternative to the American Medical Association, which did not allow African American membership. William left Freeman Hospital in 1898 and married Alice Johnson, the daughter of an American sculptor, Moses Jacob Ezekiel, and a biracial maid. They moved to Chicago, where Williams returned to his work in Providence. Beginning in 1899, he made annual trips to Nashville, Tennessee, where he was volunteering to visiting clinical professors at Meharry Medical College for more than 2 decades, and became a charter member of the American College of Surgeons in 1913. Visually, in 1926, he experienced debilitating stroke, and I guess he struggled with the aftermath of that, and 5 years later, he died August 4th, 1931, in Idlewild, Michigan. And his wife died in 1924. So she had died before him. Williams received an honorary degree from Howard and was at Wilberforce University and was named a charter member of College of Surgeons and was a member of the Chicago Surgical Society. His Pennsylvania State Historical Marker was placed at U.S. Route 22 eastbound, Blair Street 300 block in Hollisburg, Pennsylvania, to commemorate his accomplishments and mark his boyhood home. So he did a lot in his years, and he was just met with a horrible, seems like a prolonged suffering from the stroke. But yeah, he did a lot for the medical community.
Yes, he did. I'm reading over his bio, Wikipedia, and man, when they said he was the first non-surgeon hospital in the United States and also founded an associate nursing school for African American, I'm like, wow! Shout out to all the Black nurses,
All right,
and
gave them
and
a place to practice.
and I didn't realize that Stevie Wonder came out with a song back in 1976 that actually honored the achievement of Williams. The song is Black Man, which he also um, highlighted other people too. And I didn't realize on Sister Sister, season 5, episode 18, I Have a Dream, came out February 25th, 1998. Tim Reed played Dr. William in that TV series. So that's some good history, because some of these things we're not going to learn in school. And this is really good. So it's really I appreciate you for all the history you bring, because that's what we could say, done a job well done. And welcome to the show, TCAL. Yay! It's Thursday. What's up, my Pete? Oh man, I lost my bet already. I had a bet going on and I lost it.
Already?
Yeah, it's 15 minutes after. I knew it was going to be at least 3 minutes after, but it's all good. It's all good. We'll see how long it takes. No, but thank you for always doing those research and bringing some great history. If you have someone that you would like for us to speak on dealing with history, definitely send us a message, and we can definitely do our research and bring it up. Any ideas, we can bring it up. I appreciate Miss Risky for always bringing that history though. I'm like, my homegirl, she be out there getting it in. If
well,
you
not
just
getting it in, but you know.
well, getting in the lesson. The lesson. The history lesson. Let me say it that because somebody will say something else. I get another message talking about
I was gonna
gal
get 300 friend requests.
again. If you're just not tuning in, you are listening to Speak On with Who You With Kirk Dog. I am Who You With Kirk Dog, and my side uh, kick Miss Risky, my BFF on Thursday. I can feel it coming. I know it's gonna come in. It's coming. I'm lost the bet now. I just knew I
That's
was
what you said.
good.
3 minutes. Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
I said 3 minutes, and
But I was thinking at least 10.
so we both lost. We tied. We tied. So, but we'll see. It won't be long though. So, coming out today, um, so juror Brendan Mitchell, juror number 52, he decided to finally speak out and about the trial, and to say he recounted the stress of coming to court to watch a black man die. It's hard. But he also made a good point. And I don't know if you watched the show or not, but Brandon, I'm glad you did your civic duty. I'm glad you did. He did make a point. He said, it is my civic duty to be on the jury duty. It's my duty to do it, which is all of our duty. Because just imagine if Brendan would have said, I don't want to serve on this jury. I'm not feeling good. I don't think I can be fair. No telling what the results would have been. Even though a lot of the jury except one agreed from the beginning this was crazy. That was murder. So that's how they convicted him. Um, but hopefully Brandon do get his wish. I don't know if he will, but he said he would like to meet George Floyd's family. So, but at the same time, I appreciate him and all the jury that actually paid attention to the trial and made the right decision and didn't let pressure get to them. They listened to the evidence and made the decision what they felt was best. So I appreciate it. Anything you want to add on that, Miss Resky?
No, I think you pretty much hit on most of it. But like the jurors were pretty much anonymous for how long did they say they were going to be anonymous?
About a month.
About a month, and a couple of people are already speaking out. But I guess it was just up to them, so there wasn't like set in stone like you can't go out, because that's what I was thinking, that that was in place for their safety or whatever, so they wouldn't be harassed. But I guess there's something in there that's like, hey, it's up to you if you want to come out and do whatever you want to do and speak on the situation. So, but I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, people want to just tell their side and get their 15 minutes. But that's how I see it.
Yeah. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, that was pretty much it, because I still don't know how I feel about this, even though I'm sure people are going to capitalize on it, because this is pretty much a landmark kind of a case and situation. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there are going to be books and movies written, and the jurors going to participate in a lot of that.
Yeah, and that's where the benefits is going to come out of it. Because now I will say this about Brendan Mitchell, because with reading about it, he's actually a junior varsity basketball coach. So he was already a server at a community. So he is a basketball coach, and I appreciate him taking that time to sitting on that jury and listen to the case and making the best decision they felt that should have happened. Because I know with myself and everyone else that watched the news snippet on TV, and they actually had to watch the video several times. So that can be very stressful watching a man die
Right.
over and over again.
In different angles. Because I watched the trial and it was just like at some point, like I just couldn't watch it anymore. Because I was like, it's enough. But I get it. You have to go through every angle, every video, every just point of view you could, just to make sure that there was no misunderstanding in what someone saw or said. Like they were like, this is the angle and this is what it is, because you can't dispute video.
Exactly. And then on top of that, I wonder if they offer them any type of counseling after sitting on a jury like that.
I don't know. I mean, they've got to come up with something, because even like just the spectators, that was a lot to handle.
Yeah. And to hear all the yelling of the people saying, hey, get off of him, you're killing him. And then to hear George Floyd saying, calling for his mother. So that's pretty bad on that. So definitely, hopefully they do offer some type of counseling for a high profile case like this. In all the cases, because some cases we don't hear about, but you have to view all the evidence, the pictures of the murder scene and all of this. You have to view all of that. So that's pretty bad. I was heard something going on outside my window. I had to look and see. But yeah, so shout out to jury number 52, Brenda Mitchell, and all the jury that had to endure that. Oh Lord, did you see that video of Senator Tim Scott?
I didn't see the video. I just been seeing posts.
Yeah,
About it. But, I mean, I didn't, because I'm over politicians and all of the whole like it's just random. Like I just couldn't.
when I first seen it, I'm like, nah, this guy gotta be playing. He must be joking or something. But he said it nationally. He don't feel like it's a race problem in America. Yeah.
Like I just don't even like, because I was trying to figure out if maybe he was twisting, like the words were twisted, or if he meant what he said. Like I was like, I didn't understand like how he came to that conclusion. And
I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
like I'm looking at it and I'm like, what? Because it's quoted at was it no, I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do not have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country, end quote.
What you mean we don't have to speak truth? Because the thing is, if we don't speak truth, how will we know the history? The history need to be told. The real history, not this watered down history. And I'm gonna see if I can play this speech. I don't know where it's gonna start at. Hold on real quick. Hopefully, it's playing a commercial first. Don't you just hate when it? I do not want to go to that commercial.
All those commercials.
I do not want to go to that
I
commercial.
don't care about Crohn's.
I do not want to go to that commercial. To the sponsor of that commercial. I just want to hear the sound bite. That's all I want to hear. Okay, let me try it again. Oh, it's gonna play the commercial, then it'll come up. So, but I want to be able to play this soundbite. I should have hooked up another earphone. I didn't think about it, but I could have did it then. Okay, here we go. I'm Senator Tim Scott from the great state of South Carolina. We just heard President Biden's first address to Congress. Our president seems like a good man. His speech was full of good words, but President Biden promised you a specific kind of leadership. He promised to unite a nation, to lower the temperature, to govern for all Americans, no matter how we voted. This was the pitch. You just heard it again. But our nation is starving for more than empty platitudes. We need policies and progress that brings us closer together. But 3 months in, the actions of the president and his party are pulling us further and further apart. 100 years ago, kids in classrooms were taught the color of their skin was their most important characteristic. And if they looked a certain way, they were inferior. Today, kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination. And it's wrong to try to use our painful past to dishonestly shut down debates in the present. I'm an African American who's voted in the South my entire life. I take voting rights personally. Republicans support making it easier to vote and harder to cheat. And so do the voters. It will be easier to vote early in Georgia than in Democrat-run New York. But the left doesn't want you to know that. They want people virtue signaling by yelling about a law they haven't even read. Fact checkers have called out the White House for misstatements. The president absurdly claims that this is worse than Jim Crow. What is going on here? I'll tell you, a Washington power grab. And there you have it. So this
painful past. Never mind, we're currently experiencing these things.
Well, let me break it down to Tim Scott real quick. I'm gonna just break it down like this. If America was not a racist country, well, let me take that back. America is not a racist country. The people of America is racist. And the problem is because the government of America haven't done anything about it in over 400 years. Nothing been done. They make the laws, but they don't enforce them. And then on top of that, I don't care you was born down in the South, raised in the South your whole life. You need to open your eyes and realize we have an issue in America. What's the problem with teaching the real history of America? That's the way you're going to change things, because maybe somebody will have a feeling and say, you know what? I don't have to do this. We're not going to go back to what our ancestors done. But y'all want to sugarcoat American history and not tell the real truth of America. And then on top of that, let's bring it today. All these cops killing unarmed black and brown people, that's racist. Because if it wasn't, you would have more cops killing black and brown people all the time. But unfortunately, it's the white cops that is dealing with this. So you cannot tell me America is not racist. Well, America is not racist. It's the racist ass folks in America that is racist. So that's where the problem is. And Tim, you're part of the problem.
But it's all, like you stated, it's like you've never seen where there's an accidental shooting or questionable shooting from a brown or black officer. Like, it doesn't happen. Like, maybe once in a blue moon. But every time you turn on the news, an unarmed black man, Oh, a young 13-year-old boy. Oh, someone, this or that. But then you have all these videos where they de-escalate all the other uh, people of the like skin complexion and talk them down. And they have like guns pointed at them, not like actually going after them with a gun. And like, if you don't see that there's an imbalance in the law and how people perceive other races, like, I just don't understand like how you can be oblivious to that. Like, it's blatant and in your face.
Well, the thing is, people don't want to recognize it, and some people are so blind at the fact you can't, you cannot explain this to me because the thing is, here it is, we have a lot of cops across this world, but the only ones we hear about shooting unarmed black and brown people are the white cops. Then they're not held accountable because of the so-called law of America. It's the people that's running America. It's the racist ones. Because if it's equal for all, y'all will hold them accountable. And it's funny that he even said that. I was I was I was out and about today, and I ran across this little sign, this little plaque, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republican for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Y'all need to change that bullshit because it's not justice for all. It's not.
Apparently, there's an asterisk at the bottom that we keep missing. It's like all
It
white
have to be because
Caucasians
it's not justice for all.
of
That's a
European
lie,
descent.
and the truth ain't in it. That's a lie. It's not justice for all because if it was, it would not have been over 400 years of slavery. We still wouldn't have modern day slavery today. It wouldn't be voter suppression. It wouldn't be none of that. We wouldn't have the cops killing folks. So, yeah, it's not justice for all.
And you wouldn't have amendments and civil rights acts stating, hey, these people are citizens, leave them alone. But it should be obvious that, any violence against your peers, you'll be held accountable and go to jail. But that's not enforced. And that's the problem. Let me go pop somebody in the face who's not my shade. Like, I'd still be in jail waiting pending trial. Like, I just
Exactly. And then on top of that, it's kind of like uh, hold on. Welcome to the show, Radio Chaos. He said, "Hey, GOP politician act like a damn fool. This party is acting like they are all blackout drunk. They might be on a little some more than that. But welcome to the show, Radio. Now the thing is, they say justice for all. Yeah, America is a great country to be in.
And it had potential to be the greatest if all our people
Was
joined
was
together.
treated was treated fair across the board. Here it is. It's been a year since Breonna Taylor was murdered. Still, no justice for her. Emmett Till, when that woman lied back then, and when she came out a couple of
At 80,
years ago,
yeah, 80 years old.
she come out a couple of years ago and admitted she lied. She should have been arrested immediately. But
Exactly.
instead, they saying they investigating. Investigating what? When Bill said, "Yeah, I probably did drug him," he blind.
Right.
Y'all didn't waste no time to put him
Exactly.
behind bars. Man, Bill almost what, 90 years old,
Pretty
blind and in
much.
prison?
Right.
But this woman who lied and got a young man killed, in the Jim Crow era.
A little boy. These
In the
grown men
way
after him.
in the way that they murdered the young boy. But you want to say America is not racist. America not racist, the people of America that is. And because y'all are not doing anything to stop it, it's going to continue to go on.
Right. Because it's going unpunished. All these crimes, these hate crimes against people of color, race, gender, they're not being held accountable for their actions. And that's the problem. We need to enforce these laws. It has to be consistent across the board. And that's what we, protest about. We just want equal rights, and the laws have to reflect that as well.
I don't
Can't
care.
give little Pookie 20 years to life for a joint, and then some dude and raped and killed 5 kids, and he gets probation. Like, it's not balanced. Or little Timothy has a whole key of cocaine. You know what? He's got a future. Let's give him probation for 10 years. No.
Well, welcome to the show, Michael. I know you always come in. You always bring some good knowledge. He said she lied not to the police, but to her brother. Even though she lied to her family, she should not face charges.
But
I
her actions
learned
caused the crime.
exactly. I learned it in English class. Not sure if she lied to the police. Well, you got to remember during that time, somebody can murder somebody right in front of the police if they was white. They can murder a black man right in front of the police and
Because
nothing was
most of them
done.
wore hoods.
Exactly. They wore
I mean,
hood at night and a uniform during the day.
and that's
So
why the KKK, and things like that, they let it go because technically the police couldn't do it. But if our community wants to take care of the matter, uh, you know,
turn the blind eye.
right. There's nothing we can do about it. We don't know who they are. What did
She
you do?
did not murder her, but her lie murdered her. Now, I'm not an attorney or anything like that. But if we have an attorney that is listening, please inform us. Let us know if we're true on this. Because of her action, that's what led to Emmett Till's death. She
There,
lied and said he whistled at her.
and here's the kicker, because I don't know if it's always been, but I want to say a few years back, this young lady, they were teenagers. She was messing with her ex-boyfriend at the time, and pretty much told him, "Why don't you just kill yourself?" Like, he was dealing with some mental illness and things like that, and he ended up killing himself. Well, they found her text and they went after her. She,
Surely
even though she didn't directly, put a
kill
noose
him.
around his neck, she was held accountable because her actions caused that death. And I believe, I don't know what, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't know if there's a specific legal term for that or how long it's been in effect. It may have been something that's new, but you can't just be like, hey, these, dudes just raped me, and then the mob go and kill this dude. And it's like, oh, I was just mad because he didn't pay for dinner. Like, no, you don't get off scot-free.
Uh, the young man name is Conrad Roy, who you was talking about. He was 18 years old, committed suicide after his then girlfriend, Michelle Carter, was accused of encouraging him in text to commit suicide. Now, she did end up going to prison and looked like she was convicted of involuntary manslaughter in 2017 for the death, and looked like she did. The 23-year-old served 11 months for her 15-month prison sentence after she was convicted. Um, And this story was just updated. I'm trying to see when did she get out. Da, 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 da. Oh, look like she just got out January 23rd this year. So yeah, that woman, because of what she said that caused uh, this is let me okay, Michael. It's not about her committing the murder herself. It's not about her committing the murder. It's the fact that during that time, you can say that a black person looked you straight in the eyes and they would murder them.
Because that was that culture back then. And she knew
Exactly.
the power of blaming something on a black man. It's equivalent to saying, oh, the devil made me do it. No, the black man did it. Oh,
Exactly.
he stole that cookie. He stole this or that. Any excuse, because they knew they were going to get a lynching.
It's
No.
because of what she said that caused it to happen.
Because
If
how
she
dare a black man look like a white woman?
or
And
even
this,
Wilson at a white woman.
right. And he's a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, she didn't tell her brother to kill him,
But she
but
knew what he was capable of.
she knew what was going to happen. She knew that. And the thing is, I'm glad Michelle Carter was held accountable. Caused that young man to commit suicide. This woman needs to be held accountable. Yeah, it put a history in the history book that they don't want to talk about. Because it sounds like to me, they need to be rewriting the history book and admit that she came out and said she lied. And because she's a white woman, no charges against her. This woman should go to jail for the crime. And anybody else that took part of it, the way that they did him, and it take the courage of his mother to have an open casket. That had to been heart
Right. I mean, and
crimson
then,
to see that.
the smell, because they were saying that you could smell it for like, what is it, a mile or something? It was something astronomical. And people were in lines to see this because, even though everybody knew about lynchings and the abuse that black men suffered at the hands of racist people, they didn't necessarily always see it. And this put a face on the injustice and the crimes. And this was a 14-year-old boy
I don't
that
know if,
just whistled or looked at the woman. I don't know.
and he didn't do none of them.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's a statute of limitation, but I do know that Emmett Till Foundation is still pushing to get her charged. And what they're saying is the police department is still saying they're investigating what?
Yeah, I don't think there's a statute of limitations for like
It's not
murder
for the
or
murder.
attempted murder or assistant to murder. Rapes, yeah, there's limitations and things like that. Like there's certain things, but murder, I mean, like they just got the Golden Gate state killer, and he's like 90 years old.
Okay.
You know what I
It's not
mean?
a statute of limitation for rape. But
Right.
how long have it been since Bill admitted to?
Well, that's why he got it on the other one because the last one was within that term limit. That's what got him. And then they just gave him like a max sentence just to accommodate the others that came out. So I think
Yeah,
the last one that came out was more recent, even though it was still a long time ago.
yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah,
But
for murder, yeah, it's no statute for that.
but Senator Tim Scott said uh,
We all
America is
brothers,
not racist.
kumbaya.
Yeah, that's not a good fit.
Listen, I want him to go somewhere in the South and get pulled over and see if he thinks the same way.
Well, he's in South Carolina, but he say he was raised in the South.
Hmm.
But go somewhere where people
Like
don't
go to
know you.
Mississippi. Yeah, they don't know you. They
Go
don't
down to
know they're politicians.
go down to Jasper, Texas, where they drug the brother behind the truck. Um, I just had
Was
his
that over
name in
there?
my head.
What
Uh,
was the name?
yeah,
It was Jasper, Texas, right?
yes, there it is. I forgot his name that quick. James Byrd Jr. Go down there where they don't know you, and let me know how that work out for you.
Right, and this was 1998 that
But it's
occurred.
but it's not a problem. It's not a racist problem in America. I'm just saying. It's just some racist activities going on.
Hmm.
If
And
it
a lot of
wasn't
things are getting caught on film, and there's still stuff going on.
exactly,
Like that, he wasn't the only one that was drugged, behind a pickup truck. Because I want to say there was another incident after that, but because it wasn't, caught on film or whatever, it's like, it never happened. Yeah, they're just talking. That
I,
would never happen, but it does. It happens.
it happens all the time. Because matter of fact, there was another incident where a black guy was married to a white chick, if I'm not mistaken, or and he just mysteriously came up missing in that same area down south. Radio asks, is Mississippi one of the more racist states in the South? That's the one they highlight the most.
Because where is the headquarters, in Georgia or Mississippi?
I tend to look out Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia, Lookout Mountain of Georgia is the headquarters of the clans, um, or at least where it used to be. That's where they was founded at.
And according to this, they say the KKK is, well, this was a story in 2017 that they said they were based in 22 states. Uh, so I don't know if that number's grown or they just started calling themselves QAnon, or I don't know.
Well, they had to change the name because they couldn't call themselves Klansmen anymore, especially after Black Klansman came out. They were like, no, we need to come up with a different name now. Um, so they probably a sister organization to them, just a separate name. But um, Tim Scott said America is not racist. And the stain on American history shouldn't have anything to do with what's going on today. If America not racist, he's right.
Yeah, that's
But the racist people in America, because our government refused to hold them accountable.
and enforce the
Why?
laws to their brown and black brothers and sisters.
Exactly. Because the reason why they refused to hold them accountable, because it might be their friend, their family members. Hell, some of them might be their parents, their grandparents. I'm not saying all white people are racist. No, I've had some great friends
And then also
that
back in the
have
day, we
some.
had allies.
Exactly.
Because the Quakers, they were always, at those slave trades trying to plead with the people not to sell, the black men and women. And they were at the jails and praying to them and doing all these things. So like we had allies, we had the abolitionists. We is all races of people coming together because they knew like you can't imprison human beings. Just because you want, you can't buy human beings. Like we have a right to live and you know grow our children up in neighborhoods that and so they can have a full life. That's our rights.
Exactly. And then on top of that, when it found out that a white person back in those days was trying to help a black person, they treated them
Just as
just
bad.
as worse. And then they called them nigger lovers.
Hmm.
So the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is, that is America. The people of America is the ones that make America racist.
And then what was that in Mississippi? Um, the three activists, they were Caucasian. I think one was
Yep.
Jewish. In what was it 1964? Um, they were just protesting and trying to promote. Oh, one of them was a black man. So let me. I'm trying to get their names. They were. It was called Freedom of Summer or Freedom Summer. Um, and it says the Klan targeted them and pretty much put them in a shallow grave and killed them. And one of them was still alive. He had like dirt in his lungs. So
Mm.
it was gruesome. Like they shot him and did some things. I was trying to find their names, but it's just showing a picture of the boys that were missing, and one of them was black, one was
Yeah,
Jewish.
exactly. Welcome to the show, Grant Rants. First time seeing you on here. You are on D Live. Welcome to the show. You can live chat with us in the chat room. Only thing we ask everybody is welcome here, long as you are respectful, long as you come with facts, no conspiracy. This is a platform for everybody, regardless of who you support or don't support. You may not agree with everything I say. I may not agree with everything you say, but we all have a voice. So you are listening to Speak on It with Who You With Kirk Dog. I am Who You With Kirk Dog, and this is Miss Risky in the house on a Thursday night. So
Yeah, I
so
found their names. It's James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Swerner.
mm,
So, yeah, they were murdered and buried in a shallow grave, and just like even allies suffer the same fate. And this is them.
because
They found their bodies August 4th, 1964, in a shallow grave,
mm, because
just
they
for helping us.
trying to get us registered to vote
Hmm.
and all of that. So
Oh,
it's
thank you,
crazy.
Grants. Grants, rants.
Uh-oh, your light's gonna go up.
I'm surprised my voice isn't changing because I got my allergy shots today. I was like, a little raspy earlier.
Well, I'm getting prepared to. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow if I can find a place to do it. Take my first shot.
Oh, for
Um,
the COVID.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought about it. I may get it, but it'll be in March.
next year.
So I'll
Wait a
get,
minute,
huh?
March or what?
This year. I
We in
mean, May.
April.
I'm sorry. I was
I'm like, huh?
texting. I'm texting.
I'm like, huh? What you sipping on over there?
It's like I'm partly reading text and partly like answering your question, and they just kind of overlapped and didn't make sense.
I do that from time to time. I could be talking to somebody and texting at the same time, and I'm responding to what I'm typing.
Yeah.
So,
Forgive me. We're planning a vacation. So I was like,
oh,
well,
we are okay.
we as
Let
in
me tell my
me and
wife,
my
baby,
fam
get
and
your
my
bathing
sister.
suit.
Do them crunches,
Get
girl.
get get my speedos ready.
Oh no, not the dun dunce. But no, I decided I was like, you know what? Uh, you have more because I like to travel, so it'd be a less hassle to get the shots. Uh, the Moderna one is the one I'm going for since insider knowledge. That's the
Exactly.
best one you can
Yes.
get, but you did not hear that from me. But just inside knowledge. And so, even though I'm allergic to everything, I'm gonna take it. But if I start getting cravings for human flesh, I'm going after my family for making me do it first. I'm taking a big chunk out of them. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But yeah,
Uh,
I'm getting it.
that's good. Well, I'm excited about it. I'm actually go tomorrow. I know it's several drugstores that give it, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I call
CVS
my
been pushing Johnson and Johnson like crazy. I'm like, listen,
no.
no, Pfizer,
I
Moderna.
I
Me,
won't be going to Johnson Johnson. I
like,
can't do it.
listen.
I
So,
can't
do
do it.
you support Joe Biden? Support him how? Like when he's walking? Oh,
uh, okay. So Grant, I'm like this. I do not agree with everything President Biden has said and done in the history, but I did vote for him for the simple fact we cannot take another 4 years of Trump.
he was the lesser of two evils.
Exactly.
And like
So,
we traded, dementia to senile. So I mean, but you didn't hear that from me. Like we just one old man to another. Like it is what it is.
hey, we had to do something because 4 more years of Trump and that racist scene that he kept doing, we couldn't do it. Uh, oh, okay. So
Not quite a
you're
Democrat.
just no. I go for who's gonna do right for my community. You have to do your research. When you get ready to vote, you need to do your research on candidates because we do have some Democrats that is in office that shouldn't be there. Um, you seen that comment just pulled up,
Yeah.
and I keep trying to block them out for I can't read them because I get distracted. But when you voting, you have to go for do your research on the candidate and vote for the person that is best for you and your community. And not only that, just because they sound good and do good or do a half job what they
Like
say
do a
they're
few
gonna do.
things.
Yeah. I'm like this. I don't care who it is. If you're not gonna go out there and do exactly what you say, I'm gonna push to get you out of office. I'm gonna talk about you and say, hey, they said this, they said that, but that's not what they're doing. So um, Micah said Trump is the on center of America.
Mm,
I'm gonna let you take that risk.
I know I blame Lace.
Okay. Um, Grant said Justice
What's with all
Democrats are
these labels, Grant rants?
I don't
Like there's
said
more parties out there. I mean, but we just for
we
some
have
reason
been
recognized a two-party system. But there's more out there.
they're associated with the Young Turk. Well, we have independent, which I'm like this.
Libertarians.
Exactly. I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, this is the time when you need to start putting your hat in the race because if not, you can't wait until a month or two before the election and try to throw your hat in the race. You need to be in there now. Start start to let your name be known, what you stand for. With today's society, anybody can run for office. They can promote themselves for free all the time. So yeah, it's because you interpret Justice Democrat as Norman Democrat. Okay. I'm all about truth. I call it like I see it. Like I said, everybody may not agree with me,
Because I
but
mean, at the end of the day, they're politicians. They're pretty
politician,
much used car salesmen that manage laws and the government. That's it. And it's just like who benefits you more. That's it.
and then on top of that, some of them don't even read the laws. Matter of
Right.
fact, kind of like the city of Grand Prairie. Welcome to the show. Robin is watching on Facebook. Um, Uh, like for instance, um, lost the train of thought. They um, like for instance, in the city of Grand Prairie, the neighboring city, we're in the middle of a city council race. Voting is Saturday, May 1st. Saturday, May 1st. So, with that being said, um, the city of Grand Prairie is trying to pass a 75 million bond, talking about they want to have a city-owned hotel. But why? We have about 5 hotels that came up in a 1 mile radius. The city is not that big. Then you between Arlington and Dallas. Why? Then in this bond, let the truth be told, they also want the city council to decide who get the bond, who don't get the bond. Uh, so once again, this is one of those things where you have to do your homework. Matter of fact, one of the candidates told his opponent, hey, I don't have time to be a city council, but he won't step down. That's why I will vote for. See, I said I cannot look at these comments.
I got that ADHD and I just saw it come up and
I did too, and I automatic look. And I'm like,
like,
Lord.
look over there.
But so
Radio. We're trying to be serious here. It's the serious shit.
So the candidate said, I don't have time to be a city council, but he won't step down. But they want to pass this bond, and in the bottom of the bond, they also have it where they can choose who get the contract. Where is that equal for all? Because the contract should come up for bid, make it right for everybody. But instead, if they have a friend that have a business, they can easily get that contract. Instead of somebody like you or me or anybody else that may have a business that would like to bid on that contract, that option is not there. So you need to do your research on it. I will vote for Kurt Johnson and Junior Easino for the city of Grand Prairie. If you're in Longview, Marissa Ward would be a great person to vote for because she's trying to change this. Her opponent is a Democrat, been there, want to stay there for her 6th term, but she haven't done anything for the city of Longview. And she's signing bills she don't know anything about. Never read the bill. Admitted she didn't read the bill, but she signed the bill. So the thing is, I don't care who you are, Republican, Democrat, Independent, I don't care. Do what's right for the people, represent the people the right way. That's how you do it. And then we deal with radio. Trump is the savior of fast food.
KFC?
No, he do McDonald's. That's what he fed the basketball team, the team that came up there, McDonald's. McDonald's,
Yeah,
and
but
it was
he
somebody
eats
else,
KFC,
Burger
didn't he?
King.
It was something. He had some chicken.
He drank a case of Diet Coke every day.
But going back to the Grant's rant stated, he asked, do I support reparations?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
And regardless of your take on it, the government owes us a lot.
Yeah.
You don't owe us anything, but our government owes us a lot. We pretty much built this land. We died. We bred their children. And they've put us at a disadvantage with education, wealth, because back then, if you had land, you could do anything with it. You could make money. We weren't allowed to do that. We were allowed to work the lands and maybe make a fraction of, of wages, like maybe 50 cents a week or $1 a week or whatever the, amount was. But, the fact that they stole us, from our native land, stripped us of our culture. Like, even if we were to go back, we wouldn't even know where. We don't have the language like the Spanish people. They know their language, they know their culture. We were stripped of all knowledge, things African. We are
Exactly.
even taught now, until recently, not to like our hair. Like, our skin color is a disadvantage. There was redlining. We couldn't live in the good neighborhoods. We couldn't go to the same schools as our white counterparts. So, I mean, they owe us a great debt to get us balanced. And whether that be monetary or just in laws or education, something needs to be done, but a conversation needs to be had to repair the damage that was done to us.
Exactly.
And that's a government has to speak to us about that, and not, you, grants rents.
Yeah.
So.
One I've mentioned this on the show before. Um, uh, when we started our family call before my mom passed away, um, I've learned so much history that I didn't know about. One of my aunts was telling us how they used to grow sweet potatoes, all type of produce and all type of stuff they did. They even grew cotton on the land. And the land is large enough where they could do all of that. And they used that money to put whoever was in school and college to pay for their college. So yeah. But then again, it's a lot of stuff that it's some bad stuff that went along with it too. But my grandfather had a reputation. He didn't play. Um, so that's okay. Um, so that's cool. I see. I'm gonna skip around in the message a little bit. I'm gonna come back to yours, Robin. So don't get upset. Um, so Mike said, "F no, I would not be held accountable for something my great 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 grandpa may or may not have done. What if a black person owned slaves?"
But here's the difference. See, and he also posed in history, every race has enslaved every other race. But they didn't strip them of their culture. It wasn't 400 years of generation. It was usually people interchange slavery with servitude, indentured servitude, two different things. And they were usually terms on those types of slavery. And yes, if you want to go to Asia and talk about their slavery, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what was done here in the US of A.
Exactly.
I don't care what happened over there, and you shouldn't either. Also, you shouldn't care that you have to make up and apologize for something your great grandpappy did, sneaking in the slave quarters, making all them little copper-haired children. That has, again, like I stated with Grant Rants, this is not something that we are asking of you. We're asking this of our government. They owe us because they set
Because
the
they
precedent,
allowed it. They allowed it.
and they're still allowing this lopsided justice and mistreatment of people of color to happen. So that's the difference. So yes, I believe in reparations in whatever form that they are willing to offer it, so we can move forward from this. But they're also, and with that, I think once they, you hit them in the pockets, we'll start getting respect, because now we can do what our counterparts do. We can open up businesses. We can do our own thing, which we weren't allowed until, even recently. And, we make a fraction. Well, not a fraction. We're starting to make, come up a little bit, but there's still a wage gap. There's an education gap. Uh, we're still trying to, we've made some good strides and we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. But like I stated before, Michael and Grant's rants, this has nothing to do with you. This is between us and our government. And then once it trickles down, maybe people will start respecting us, because now the government's like, wait a minute, you can't burn down somebody's house. Now we're holding you accountable. And once they start holding individual citizens accountable for the hate and the hate crimes and all these things, I think people start to see, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna have to rethink this. We're gonna have to leave our people alone.
Exactly. And not only that, you got to look at it like this too, because here it is. How many of our ancestors was raped, killed, all because of the color of their skin?
And
So
then there were people, Africans that didn't even make the boat ride. They were dumped out at sea because of maybe limited rations. And I mean, they thought of us as like we were worse than cattle. Like we weren't even considered people. We were
hell, we
just
still
property.
worse than dogs.
Right. Like you'll save a dog, but a poor black slave, you kick him and it's like, get to work. But I'm missing the arm, Miss Lily. He just chopped it off. Yeah, well, you got one other good arm. Like we were just like these objects to be used and bred like cattle for for anybody's use, for anything. And yeah, slavery was back in the day, but that residual way of thinking that, people of color are less than is still around today.
Exactly. Um, so I'm like this. We should get it. They owe us. They owe our ancestors. Any other race will get theirs.
Oh yeah, like Native Americans got theirs, but they still taking theirs back. Though the government is reneging on their deal, like big time. Like, but still, like they need to do something. I want a casino. Like, give us a share in a casino. I'm good with that.
They talking about bringing a couple of here in Texas.
They need to.
They need to have, and they all need to be able to pay our ancestor or the descendant of our ancestor money from them in tax ways. Robin said, I feel like we always hear the promise we want to hear when politicians run. However, once they get in their effort is spent doing their donor bidding. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about the dollar bill.
Mm-hmm. And who's the best speaker? Yeah, you know what? Let me look into that. And then they can go get into office and they're like, you know what? Congress didn't want to pass that bill, so they passed the buck and blame the other people. It's not, I kept my word. It was them.
Exactly.
It was a 49-51 vote.
And they will forget about you until it's
Right.
election time again.
So like
That's why.
it's lesser of the two evils. It's like these candidates. It's just like you just pick the one that maybe tells the best line. I don't know.
And Mike said fast food is good and delicious, enjoyed by millions in the US. Just because it may be good at that time and delicious to you at that time, that don't mean it's healthy for you.
Yeah. We are the
Because
most unhealthy nation.
because what happened is when you start getting diabetes or other health issues, it's all from that fast food place. So that's what we need to cut out from and eat a little bit more healthy. Robin said, agreed. Grant said, I agree with that. Okay. So you coming along. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, we did this one. We did all of those. Grant said, but they're talking about the government paying for it. Mike. Oh, responding to Michael. Yeah, the government, because they the ones that caused the problem.
And they're still causing problems because they're letting things go that shouldn't. Like the fact that you have to have a law for people to stop beating up Asians. I'm like, that's a law anyway. Like, you shouldn't be popping people in the faces and beating them up anyway. Like, that's just common sense, and that's like against the law to assault people. You go to jail. So you mean this whole time we could have been beating up Asian people and not? I mean, not us because we go to jail. But like that's how it sounds. It's like, no, you don't need a special bill. Like we're still getting dumped on, spit on, and discredited. Like it's just exhausting.
It is. So risky for president.
No,
Oh
I
no,
don't work well with others.
they asked me last night about running, and someone made the suggestion that you be my cleanup person.
What do you mean you're a cleanup person? Like
uh,
hide the bodies?
no,
I
the
do watch
one.
a lot of ID channels.
No, I'm talking about like what was that show with the president and she would come through and
Oh,
clean.
scandal.
Yeah. Um,
You know what?
said
I would probably be good at that because I do have a little bit of sneakiness in me.
radio said you can have Miss Risky as your cleanup person and said you could definitely do that. And I said, well, between her and my wife, they'll keep me on the straight path. I wouldn't have a chance. Robin said, I was talking to a friend who told me her father was the information on the plantation. One, if his great aunts worked them. Now it got me thinking. Most of us can pop on ancestry.com, which I won't repeat that again because they're not supporting us. We need supporters.
Mhm.
Um, and look back and learn about our family history. Um, for my friend, what she can find out is painful and tragic. It's something I never thought about before. Yeah, that's when you hear your when you know your true family history, it will cause some problems. I found out my great great grandmother name was Savannah. Um, that's because of the plantation she was from. And when you dig real deep down inside of your family history, it will be a lot of stuff. You hope you didn't open up that box and learn.
But that's if you're lucky to find, go down that rabbit hole. Because most of us, it's like we were just tick marks and approximate ages. Like so we could even like if you're lucky enough to trace it beyond your great great grandparent, during slavery, you may have been on a plantation where it was just like, uh, you're just a wench and you're just a buck. You were a tick mark, an approximate age. If you looked 5 and was actually 10, like you still have no range of who they are. But I could trace the white people, the white side of the family. Like my sixth great grandfather fought in the American Revolutionary War. William Scurlock. They were from Wales. He and his brother Mayo. Mayo was he died and he fought and died at the Alamo. So I'm sixth generation Texan with some Scottish and Welsh you know roots.
But if you ever reach out to them, they're gonna be like, "There's no way you was part of my family."
And with our name and that bloodline and the land we own, yeah, it's pretty easy to see.
Oh.
So, but the black part, we hit a wall just on that part because we come from his line. And even if you look up the stories on him, he traveled with a caravan and that was like a family unit, but they were black. It was a black woman and some kids. And I was like, but we don't know her name. Like, we can't go further than that. But we can trace him. We have a family crest. I'm
There you go.
Scottish.
There you go. Radio said, I think they call those people that take care of problems on a campaign a fixer.
Mm-hmm.
You
Like,
gotta
put your pants on. Get out. Little hussy.
but
Take your
see
money and
what
run.
let me explain something about Miss Risky. Um, we don't really talk that much during the week because she's busy, I'm busy, we all busy. But Miss Risky, she's like, bam, do this, do that. Then my wife be like, okay, you need to do this, do that. I will have double trouble. But it
But we
is a
see,
choice.
I believe Tracy and I would coordinate. It's like, we'll give him a break. But then after that,
Be like,
And
wait a
my
minute,
tires need air.
wait a minute. You need to go out and cut the grass, cook dinner, and you still need to be on this campaign by such and such time.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, that would be kind of hard.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows? You never know what the future may hold. Um, da da da. So we have a couple of more stories we're gonna hit on real quick, because Miss Risky,
What was
you
that?
gotta go to
Marvin
work.
Scott was one of them.
Um, is
Or
that the
did you
guy?
want to do?
Yeah, Marvin Scott will be the next one. Um, is that the guy with the glasses and the nose on? Um, Not quite sure, Grant.
No, this is the one who.
No. I'm talking to Grant, responding to his
Oh,
question. He said, "I see you followed Jesse Lee Peterson on D Live. What do you think about him? Is that who it is? Let me know if that's who. Because the thing is, I don't pay attention. It's one dude on there. I definitely don't pay attention to him, and I try to unfollow him. But sometimes I do need a good laugh because if it's who I think it is, it ain't worth it. Um, so, but yeah, we could do Marvin Scott and end it with the other one. He's a notable right. Yes, that's him. Yeah, Uncle Ruckus. Yeah, that's him. That probably allegedly Tim Scott nephew or somebody. I don't know. So they're along the same line. I don't listen to him. When I came to D Live, I think he ended up following me or something, and I followed him back, not knowing what I was getting into. I should have did my homework, and I just had. It seemed like I unfollowed him, and he keep getting back on somehow. I don't know, um, but yeah. So here in Collin County, Marvin Scott, Marvin David Scott III, 26-year-old black man who was pepper sprayed and had a spit mask placed on his face while he was held at a Texas detention facility in March. Well, the autopsy came back and they ruled his murder a homicide. Several correction officers have been relieved of their duties. And all of this started because Scott was arrested for possession less than 2 ounces of marijuana. Less than 2 ounces. So it might have been a blunt or two. But here it is when most states are saying they're not going to charge folks for marijuana. They arrested him for less than 2 ounces. So the family is hoping that now these employees of that detention center, there was 7 of them that was fired. Hopefully they will be charged either with murder, manslaughter, or something. Some type of charges should come up against them because it was ruled a homicide. Now, I don't know if y'all ever been sprayed with pepper spray, but I have sprayed some pepper spray and that wind was going the wrong way. And it wasn't good. But if you spray somebody with pepper spray and you put a spit mask over their face,
and
that
choke
is
them.
exactly because the spit mask, it keep the saliva from coming out of the bag. So, and you're in here, you are already struggling to breathe. Then you put this mask on. It just made it even worse to breathe. Now, Mr. Scott, he's a pretty good sized brother like myself, but still, they left him in there with the spit mask on after spraying him with pepper spray
5 hours.
for 5 hours. What do you think gonna happen? I'm glad the family's still fighting to receive justice. But Collin County, I'll tell you about Collin County. Collin County is where allegedly Ken Paxson got his fraud case out of. And as you know, Ken Paxson, he ain't for everybody. I know I shouldn't say ain't, but he's not for everybody. So the thing is, Collin County is part of America. I'm not going to say all of it, but most of it, part of America that is had a racist tensions. So yeah, that's a problem. So I'm gonna let Miss Risky speak on it.
On which part? Just the fact that he was held for 5 hours and couldn't breathe, and they pretty much watched him breathe his last breath.
Yeah,
Like, it's pretty much the same story, different day. Like, it's exhausting hearing these stories of, like, regardless of the crime they committed, like, it doesn't warrant death. It
no,
doesn't.
not because
And who was the little boy who, I think, didn't he kill some people and they offered him McDonald's and
it
some
been
water because he
several
was
of those.
thirsty? Yeah, like, it. He was actually violent and killed people, and they made sure he walked out and to the jail, in one piece and got him food.
Yeah,
We're not afforded that luxury.
the one in uh, either South or North Carolina. I think it was North Carolina that shot up the church, and they took him to Burger King before
Yeah, we don't
taking
get
him to
fast food.
jail.
Mm-mm.
Then I want to say the one, and I could be wrong now, El Paso, after he shot up that mall last year.
The one
Um,
that got shot in the leg.
no, that was just a couple of months. That was last month.
There's
But
so
this
many things.
this one happened. I think the guy came from either Allen, Plano, or McKinney, and he drove to El Paso to shoot up the mall out in El Paso. After he shot up that mall, you see them walking him down the street all calm after he done shot and killed folks.
Right. Like, no sense of aggression, with the officers. They're just like, hey, come on, Brad. I know you're having a bad day. Let's put the gun away.
And
But
then
be a brother with a joint. He's got a gun,
the
and they're
joint looked like a
riddled with
gun,
bullets.
just like the brother back around during Christmas in was it Ohio, uh, in the garage, and he came out with his hand up. You could clearly see it was a cell phone, shot and killed. Okay, let's talk about Dante. A couple of weeks ago, the cop that shot and killed him. But Tim Scott saying America is not racist. America may not be, but the people in America is. Because if not, we wouldn't keep having these problems. Robin said, "Oh my gosh, I hadn't heard about this." So basically, he drowned in his own saliva. Wait, 5 hours? Yeah, had him in the
I know
cell
that.
for 5 hours. Never checked on him with the face.
And then this one here, and this happened in Florida. There was a young man who was kind of erratic. He had a form of autism, and a black man was helping to calm him down. Cops shot him. He's down on the ground, shot still with his hands up. Like,
Exactly.
he wasn't the problem. He was
Shot and
helping
killed
out
him.
the situation.
Yeah.
So, and he was a therapist. He was a therapist. Let me see. Charles Kinthy. He was shot by the police while helping a person with autism. And there's a video, and you can see it the whole time. He's got his, he's like, he has his arms up, and he's, trying to calm the other kid down. Um, but he got shot.
Yeah,
Like, what sense does that make? Like, we can't even help people who are kind of nutting out a little bit, like, without us looking like the threat. Like, why are they, unstable? Oh, it must be the black person. He's driving them crazy. He's a deviant. We must take him out. And then they're like, oh, my bad. We thought you were a criminal.
exactly. Robin said, look at the guy who shot 8 Asian people. And the sheriff comes out and say the guy was having a bad day. But once again, people is afraid to call it out like it is. Because here it is. Trump kept saying this is the China virus. China Joe. China this, China that. People not going to go up and ask what the Senate are you. They're going to look at you and assume. That's the reason why that guy did it. That cop tried to set the tone. This was not a hate crime. It's not your choice to make that decision. He was just having a bad day. I have bad days, but guess what?
Yeah, we ain't shooting up people, but all the bad days we had since slavery, please.
Y'all better hope we don't start acting like him.
Right,
That's
like,
all I'm
come
gonna say.
on.
Yeah, he was trying to save the man life with autism. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's alive, but they
yes,
just
he's
shot him.
alive, but they did shoot him.
Hmm.
They did shoot him. This next one, we're gonna. I know we behind schedule,
No, no worries.
uh, but um, Andrew Brown Jr. So they refused to release the videotape. They said they had to protect the officers. But it come out today that North Carolina Sheriff reinstate 4 deputies in fatal shooting of black men, released names of all 7. We're talking about Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
What's going on with
Carolina.
North Carolina? Just like, what is going on over there?
Hey, can somebody send me a double Oreo shake from the cookout? That's all I want. A double Oreo shake from the cookout. I got you. Uh, I need to go back to North Carolina to get that shake. But
So that's the only good thing, but they shooting up people.
black people. Uh,
Right. Well,
uh,
that's pretty much established.
yeah. So Elizabeth City, North Carolina sheriff said 4 deputies involved in the case of a black man who was fatally shot last week are returning to active duty after a review of body camera video showed they did not fire their weapon. Pasquotank County Sheriff Tommy Wooten announced in a news release Thursday that he has restored to duty 4 out of the 7 deputies who were placed on administrative leave after the shooting death of Andrew Brown Jr. Wooten released the names of all 7 deputies who went to Brown residence to serve an arrest and search warrant. After reviewing the preliminary conclusion of the independent investigation conducting the internal review, and after carefully examining the body cam footage of the incident with my own staff, it's obvious that 4 of the deputies never fired their weapon and deserve to be reinstated to active duty, the sheriff said in the release. So they did release their name. As it comes up, Lieutenant Stephen Judd, he was back on active duty. Sergeant Michael Swindell, back on active duty. Sergeant Bishop Kennett, back on active duty. Sergeant Joel Lunsford, back on active duty. Investigator Daniel Meads, administrative leave. Deputy Sheriff 2, Robert Morgan, administrative leave. Corporal Aaron Llewellyn, back administrative leave. So the thing is, you're saying, see, this is why I don't trust them. Because he said totally, there's about 30 seconds of video. That's what came out early in the investigation. There's only about 30 seconds of video, and they only showed the family 20 seconds of video. But you want to wait, and this judge ordered them at least 30 days before they released the video.
Because they don't want any riots. Like, we're coming off of the George Floyd trial. And any other time, if he was in the wrong, because people are saying, well, he was trying to run over the cops. And then other people are saying, no, he was being shot at, and then he backed, he tried to get away. And that's when he got that fatal shot to the head. Like, I'm sorry, listen, you shooting at me, I'm gunning it.
I'm not going to stand around there and let you kill me.
Right. Like, most of I think they said he had, 4 shots to his right side, and then the one in the back of the head.
4 shots to the arm and one in the back of the head.
Right. So, and if he was in the wrong, if he was, show the video. Like, you always quick to show it. Well, he had a gun. He had a knife. Look, he was coming at it. Here's the video. But here you are. Yeah, we got to redact some things and hide some faces. But we know their names now. So who cares? Show the video.
Show the video. Let it be said and done.
Let us see if he was fleeing, whatever. But they were serving a warrant, but it wasn't for anything violent. Exactly. It was a warrant, and then they didn't find not one drug, not one weapon on this man, on him or in his home.
But they came out shooting.
Right. Guns already, out.
So.
And that's what we keep fighting for, because, like, the fact that we're already vilified just from birth, just because of the color of our skin. Like, no matter, like, I could be standing on a bus stop, get shot. Well, she had a criminal record. She shoplifted when she was 5. Who cares? What am I doing now? Like, what does that have to do with now?
Exactly.
But there's always an excuse to justify a shooting of a brown or black person, and that's what we need to stop. Stop vilifying it. And wrong is wrong.
One of the first things they do is pull up their background. Pull up their background. One of the first things they do, which is wrong. That's why it's not equal justice for everybody. As long as we have these particular people in office, it won't be. But you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. Miss Risky is always in the house on Thursday. Miss Risky, tell the people where they can find you at. And no
at
stalkers.
Home. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't say that. And no stalkers, please.
I probably already got them. They be all on my Instagrams. But you can find me at RSKEE on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I don't really hang out there. Live on Instagram. I have a website, rskeebooks.com. And you can check out my works. Hopefully I'll get some more stuff to post on there. But yeah, just hit me up.
That's good. But you can follow Miss Risky, no stalkers or anything like that.
Now, sometimes they're amusing.
Like somebody went through and all out of your 562 pictures, they liked even every one of them
in 10 minutes. That's a little extreme.
Exactly. So you can find me on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, D Live. You can send me a message. I will respond back. And I'm very open. If this is your first time listening, please take the time out, like whatever platform you're on, subscribe. Tell a friend we are live, and when we are live, you can always chat live with us. And uh, other than that, we appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. Um, we're on Sunday through Thursday. That's why it's so important to click the notification. Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. And you can also be a part of the show. So until Sunday night, we appreciate y'all. And please do not forget Saturday, May 1st. Saturday, May 1st, election is going on all across this country. Please get out and let your voice be heard. Let it be heard. Saturday is the last time you can vote on this. We have local election going on for city council, mayors, and different things. Whatever is going on in your city, please get out and vote. Vote, because people will. If you don't vote, you don't have nothing to say about, and your vote do count. So, and also if you have a felon on your record, go to vote.org. If you paid your dues, you're off paper, you can get your voting rights back. Go to vote.org, answer the couple of questions, and it'll tell you right then and there. And if you're able to get it reinstated, please take advantage of it. Register to vote and get out and vote. I know here in Texas, we have some big election coming up in the next couple in November. Governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, board of education. We have a lot of things coming up, and we need to make sure those leaders, those piece of leaders that we have now, we need to make sure they understand it's time for them to go. So until Sunday night, I love each and every one of you. Until then, if the good Lord say the same. Peace.